Rob, Ruben Amorim says that they're trying everything. Do you think they need to do something in this transfer window, or do they need to take a step back and then focus on the summer window?
I think the number one is the transfer window, because I think they're really starting to plan now for the summer. Because a club like Manchester United, they're going to be ideally in a situation where they're 6 months ahead. So in order to get to the summer, first of all, you have to figure out what is your budgets, what does it look, what does the club look like now, and that's why I think maybe Mainu moving on is to balance the books, is to start preparing for what are we going to have in the summer. How do we get players? How do we get money and budgets correct? Well, we also need to release players, because like one of the letters from Manchester United this past couple of weeks was that they're in danger of PSR. So they're starting to clearly plan for that, and also plan for what does a Ruben Amorim team look like, and what does he need. So in order to get that, they're going to have to do it in the summer.
Talking of Ruben Amorim, though, what have you made of his start as Manchester United's head coach?
Do you know what? I think the number one thing, I really like him. I like who he is. I like how he represents himself. I love how honest he is. He's very truthful. He's very passionate. So I love that about him. And I tell you, it's been very, very difficult. I think what he's realized is this job is harder than what he predicted and anything that he could have imagined. This is way harder than that. And I think there's been a lot of things that maybe he didn't see, because, for example, he's looking at Manchester United moving from Sporting, and he's looking at it, and he's found that maybe all of those players are not going to play for him. They're
impact of AFCON on Manchester United is probably bigger than most clubs, because they're key players. So I don't think it would be a word called panic or anything, but I think it's something they need to monitor. I think they will definitely be monitoring the window to see if there is an opportunity arises, because sometimes it does. It lands for you perfectly. Those players missing are going to be really missed by Manchester United.
Yeah, go on.
I just wonder as well the knock-on effect it will have on the two players that Kaveh mentioned, Kobbie Mainoo and Joshua Zirkzee. They obviously want more first-team football, but with these players going to the AFCON, is Ruben Amorim going to think, actually, you are going to get minutes and I need you because our squad is a little bit light without them. I don't want to further lighten that squad by allowing you to leave on loan for the rest of the season.
And if they step up, then he's got the problem of integrating the players that left.
Well, SESKO isn't getting a game, and so Zirkzee must still be looking, where am I going to get a game? So I think he has a unique problem. Manu definitely is a problem child for Manchester United, because I think the fan base want him to play. I think when I look at players, when he comes on, he looks like he's loved by the players. I think they want him to play. I think he will get a game and an opportunity, and he needs to play, obviously, if he's going to feature in the World Cup.
And you mentioned SESKO. He's now picked up a knee injury, and they don't actually know how long that's going to keep him out of business as well.
Yeah.
In terms of what they did, do you feel this window, this summer window, did it make up for previous windows? Because they have been accused of getting it horribly wrong for however long. I mean, we could go back for potentially 3 years, I think, even further. Well, so did this window make up for that, do you feel?
I don't think it did ever make up for it, because how far they'd fallen. You know, when you look at teams like Crystal Palace, Brighton, Brentford, Bournemouth, their transfer policies have hardly got anything wrong over the last 2, 3, 4 years. And Man United continually got it wrong. So, OK, this window has definitely been more of a success. They obviously had changed the model a little bit, went for Premier League kind of experience, in Mbeumo and Cunha in particular, two players who not only were performing in the Premier League, but performing to a very high level. This is the sort of players that Man United are traditionally bought under Alex Ferguson. So maybe they've just gone back to what they used to do and pay, you know, the fees that need to be paid. I don't think that this window makes up for all the problems they've created in the previously, if I'm honest, but it has repaired some of the damage.
It'd be interesting to see what they achieve this season. You talked about the pressure being off him, and maybe not the Champions League. He doesn't need that for Amorim himself. Where do you think they might end up, though? Because at one stage, had they got the win the other week, they would have gone second in the table.
I think that, when I look at Manchester United and I watched them closely against Spurs, they don't look like they've got the tools that they need to be a Champions League team this year. Amorim is lucky in the respect that he has time to work with a team with no European football. So that always gives you a massive advantage. I remember when I was at Newcastle, we had that advantage when we finished 5th over Chelsea and all the teams that were trying to get into that position. So it does give you a great advantage, and I'm sure he's grateful for that. But I think they're way short still of competing for the top 4 at the level we're at in the Premier League.
OK. All right, let's turn our attentions to Arsenal, because they're 4 points clear at the top and appear to be benefiting from their recruitment in the previous windows. Dams, do you think they'll go again in January?
Look, it's not a window where Arsenal are usually that active. The last time I think that they signed major players for the first team squad was back in 2023, January 2023. Leandro Trossard came in. He's
not a
been
bad signing.
Jorginho, you could say, was a success as well. Jakub Kiwior came in that window as well. He's since gone out on loan with the view to a permanent deal as well. So maybe that one didn't work as much as Arsenal would have wanted. So I'm not expecting Arsenal to be that busy in January unless